going to call the meeting of the Del Mar College Board of Regents to order at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, August 27th. We have a quorum and can conduct business. Regents Susan Hutchison is running a few minutes late. She's representing us at another meeting this morning that is running a little bit late, so she will be here shortly. Can we please begin with a moment of silence? Thank you. Ms. Averett, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you all please join us in reciting the Del Mar College mission statement? Del Mar College provides access to quality education, workforce preparation, and lifelong learning for student and community success. Del Mar College is streaming live audio and video from this official Board of Regents meeting on the college's website in real time, with the exception of portions of the meeting considered as closed session by statute. I'd like to remind everyone to please silence your cell phones. We have 5 agenda items today related to the adoption of our annual budget and tax rate and salary structure. We are going to begin with Mr. Raul Garcia giving us a brief overview of the maintenance and operations budget and the 2019 and 2020 debt service budget.
Madam Chair, Mr. President, and members of the board, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. Throughout the budget process, the college has engaged various budget stakeholders in the spirit of governance to build the fiscal year 2020 budget. We have also demonstrated throughout the process the allocation of resources to strategic activities that is student-focused. With that said, the college is proposing the adoption of $107.9 million for the budget to include various resources listed on this slide. In order to deliver on the strategic activities, the college is proposing the allocation of financial resources to the following general categories: $79.3 million in salary and benefits, non-salary expenses, $23,984,574. South Campus, $1 million. Bond payment, $1.9 million. Contingency, $1.6, for a balanced budget of $107.8 million. Last item embedded in the budget is salary compensation increase for $1.8 million. Madam Chair, Mr. President, members of the Board of Regents, that concludes my presentation on our proposed budget for fiscal year 2020.
Thank you. Before we start discussion, I'm going to ask the college attorney to please read the order that the board will be voting on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The proposed order for your consideration, Regents, reads as follows. It has to do with the budgets for 2019-2020. Be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that whereas budgets for the Del Mar College District have been prepared and submitted to the Board of Regents of the district in the manner required by law, and whereas a meeting has been called and held as a public hearing for the purpose of considering the adoption of a maintenance and operation budget and debt service budget after public notice of such meeting is required by law, and whereas all taxpayers and other persons of the district desiring to do so have been given the opportunity to be present and to participate in such hearing, therefore, that certain budgets presented to the board at this meeting and filed among the official documents of this district be, and it is hereby adopted as the budgets for the Del Mar College District for the fiscal year beginning September 1, 2019 and ending August 31st, 2020. There's the usual and customary places for recording of the vote as well as the appropriate signatures.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the order which in effect adopts our 2019-2020 maintenance and operation budget and debt service budget?
I'll move to approve, Madam Chair.
Mr. Rivas makes the motion, Ms. Estrada makes the second. Is there any board comment or question? Is there anyone from the public who would wish to address the board on this action item? Seeing none, please, we'll do a roll call vote.
Dr. Adame.
Yes.
Ms. Averett. Yes. Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Ms. Estrada.
Yes.
Mr. Rivas.
Yes.
Mr. Salinas.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes,
Dr. Sherwood. Yes.
that motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 2 will be just follow the same format, discussion and action related to our tax rates for 2019-2020. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am. I want to also thank you for your support on behalf of the students and on behalf of the leadership at the college. Thank you very much. Moving on to the proposed 2019-2020 tax rates. The college is proposing the adoption of a combined tax rate of 0.280665 in order to achieve the strategic activities built into the board-approved M&O budget of $107.9 million that we just discussed, and the general obligation debt service for $19 million. The annual tax is $465 on property with an appraised value of $165,000. The proposed M&O rate of 21 cents will be used to fund various student-focused activities. This rate represents a change of 4.97 above the effective rate. The proposed combined rate of 28 cents will generate $77.3 million in revenues for the college. This includes $58.2 million to fund our operations and $19 million to fund the general obligation debt service. Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. President, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Mr. Rivera, would you please read the order?
Yes, thank you. Madam Chair, again, Regents, the following is the proposed order for your consideration on the tax rate for 2019-2020. Be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that whereas the board has duly and properly considered a proposal to increase total tax revenues from properties on the tax roll in 2019 by 4.31%, and whereas the board is duly and properly called and held the public hearings required by the Texas Property Tax Code after giving the public notice required by the code and by law, and whereas all taxpayers and other persons desiring to do so have been given the opportunity to be present and to participate in such hearings, and whereas the board has duly and properly given and published notice of these meetings as required by law, now therefore, the board hereby approves and adopts the proposal to increase total tax revenues from properties in the tax roll in the preceding year by 4.31%, thereby increasing the total tax rate to be levied for 2019 to 28 and 665th over 10,000 or 0.280665 on each $100 property valuation in the district. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 4.97% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $1.57. Again, as before, there's the customary section for recording the vote and the appropriate signatures.
Is there a motion to adopt the order and therefore adopt our tax rates for 2019-2020? Dr. Sherwood makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Dr. Adame. Any discussion or questions from the board? Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Dr. Sherwood. Yes. Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Salinas.
Yes.
Mr. Rivas.
Yes.
Ms. Estrada.
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Ms. Averett. Yes. Dr. Adame.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia and your staff and all the college staff for your work in the past few months preparing this budget and the tax rate information. I know that it's been your first year to go through this. There's lots of learnings for all of us. Dr. Escamilla, thank you very much for the fine work that your staff have done. Would like to move on to item number 3, which is a specific order related to the tax levy. Mr. Rivera, would you please read that order?
Yes, Madam Chair. The order before you for consideration, Regents, is for the tax levy for 2019, and it reads as follows. Be it ordered by the Board of Regents of the Del Mar College District that the following taxes are hereby levied for the year 2019 on all property, real, personal, and mixed, located within the boundaries of the Del Mar College District, and subject to taxation by it for the year 2019 under the laws of this state and of the United States. A total ad valorem tax of 28 and 665 over 10,000 cents on each $100 property valuation in the district for the purposes and in the specific amounts which follows. Number one, an ad valorem tax of 21 and 1260 over 10,000 cents on each $100 property valuation for the local maintenance fund of the Del Mar College District. Number two, an ad valorem tax of 6 and 9405 over 10,000 cents on each $100 property valuation for the interest and sinking fund of the Del Mar College District bonds, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2011, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2013, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2014, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2015, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bond Series 2016, Del Mar District Tax Bond Series 2017, Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bond Series 2018A, and Del Mar College District Limited Tax Bond Series 2018B. Again, there's the customary section for recording the vote and the appropriate signatures.
Is there a motion to adopt that order on the specific tax levies? Ms. Averett makes the motion. Is there- Ms. Estrada makes the second. Roll call vote, please.
Oh, yes. Public comment?
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from the board? Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Any public comment on this action item? Sorry about that. Ms. Pettis, please.
Dr. Adame.
Yes.
Ms. Averett.
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Ms. Estrada.
Yes.
Mr. Rivas.
Yes.
Mr. Salinas.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Dr. Sherwood.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And now we'll review the tax exemptions. This question was asked last week, and so here is detail regarding the tax exemptions, and we will vote to approve these as well. Mr. Garcia?
Very nice. Yes, so I have better information today. So let's get started. In accordance with the Texas Tax Code, property or property owners qualify for a variety of exemptions from property tax. The qualified disabled veterans and the qualified charitable organizations, that'll be this one, are mandated by the state. The college is recommending the remaining exemptions, which is in accordance with state statute. That would be all the other items with the values. Okay. Let's talk about the homestead exemption. The college is proposing a $5,000 homestead exemption. To qualify for this exemption, the property must be used as a resident and occupied by the owner. I will also point out that this $5,000 has not changed from the prior fiscal year. Next item, persons 65 years or older. The college is proposing a $50,000 exemption for persons 65 years or older. The $50,000 has not changed from the previous fiscal year, and it is above the minimum statutory exemption requirement of $3,000. Okay. Moving on to the qualified disabled veterans. The qualified disabled veterans exemption is a statutory exemption. This exemption also applies to a surviving spouse or child of a deceased disabled veteran. The exception can be as much as $12,000. There are many variables that play into the calculation, and it includes percentage of service-connected disability, age, and the nature of the disability. Say, for example, a person may be blind, one eye, two eyes, or a loss of a limb. Okay. Next item. Persons under 65 years of age who is qualified for payment of disabled insurance benefit. The college is proposing $50,000 for a disabled person under the age of 65. The $50,000 has not changed from the previous fiscal year, and it is above the minimum statutory exemption of $3,000. Moving on to qualified charitable organization. This is another statutory exemption. There are many variables to qualify for this exemption, such as the property must be owned by a charitable organization. In addition, the property is to be used exclusively by a qualified organization. The exempt amount is contained on the percentage of the property used specifically for charitable functions. Additional information or tax-exempt applications can be found at the Nueces County Appraisal District. Madam Chair, members of the board, and Mr. President, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Mr. Rivera, would you please read the order?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Madam Chair. As outlined by Mr. Garcia, Regents, presented for your consideration and approval today is a resolution of the Board of Regents regarding the exemptions. Resolved that for the year 2019, all persons who qualify by law are granted an exemption in the amount of $5,000 of the appraised value of their homestead property. And resolve further that for the year 2019, persons of the age of 65 or older are granted an additional exemption in the amount of $50,000 of the appraised value of their homestead property, and qualified disabled veterans are granted the statutory exemption. And resolve further that for the year 2019, each person under 65 years of age who is qualified for the payment of disability insurance benefits as defined under federal old age survivors and disability insurance is hereby granted an additional exemption from taxation in accordance with Section 11.13D of the Property Tax Code, the total amount of which is equal to $50,000 of the appraised value of such person's residence homestead property, as that term is defined by the state constitution and law, provided the owner of such residence homestead property or his or her duly authorized agent or attorney applies at the office of the Nueces County Tax Appraisal District for said exemption in accord with the requirements established by the tax assessor collector or the Nueces County Tax Appraisal District as permitted by law. And resolve further that for the year 2019, each disabled veteran is entitled to the mandatory exemption provided in Section 11.22 of the Code. And resolve further that for the year 2019, each qualified charitable organization that has been granted exemption by the City of Corpus Christi is entitled to the tax exemption provided under Section 11.184 of the Texas Tax Code. That's the proposed order, Madam Chair, and you've got, again, the customary section to record the vote and the appropriate signatures.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rivas. Thank you, Dr. Adami, for the second. Any board discussion or questions on that order? Is there any public comment on this action item? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Dr. Sherwood? Yes. Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Salinas?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes.
Ms. Estrada?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Dr. Adame?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That motion passes. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia. Our last action item related to the budget is related to our tenure track faculty salary structure. This requires a policy review and approval. Ms. McDonald, Dr. Escamilla, do you have anything to say to start with?
This is our customary follow-up to make sure that the faculty salaries are adjusted, and this is documentation supporting that, and we're seeking your consideration for approval.
Thank you, sir. Ms. McDonald?
Yes, ma'am. Since the board has adopted the fiscal year 20 budget, that requires some revisions to the faculty salary schedule, specifically to the section to cover common base and the section to cover the rank schedule. And you have the policy that's attached, and it shows you that those two components and what they are moving from and what they will be moving to. So the common base, you'll see it's going from 48,750 to 50,000, and then you see the increments for the rank schedule and the movement with the adoption of the budget, which you approved.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. McDonald? Is there a motion to adopt the revisions to policy B1612, specifically section B1612.1? Thank you, Dr. Adami. Mr. Salinas makes that second. Any, looking again for any board discussion? Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, last roll call vote.
Dr. Adame?
Yes.
Ms. Avery? Yes. Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Estrada?
Yes.
Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Mr. Rivas?
Yes.
Mr. Salinas?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes,
Dr. Sherwood?
Yes.
thank you, and that vote also is passed unanimously. Again, thank you all very much for your work on this, and ready to move forward on September 1 with our new fiscal year. Now we're going to hear from Mr. Alfonso regarding the general contractor for the South Campus Phase 1A project.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
On June 10, 2019, the college issued RFCSP number 2019-12 for the construction of the South Campus Phase 1A, Package 2, consisting of the following projects: the building of the main building and library, the STEM building, culinary arts, and some site development that will be located at the corner of Rodfield Road and Yorktown Boulevard, Corpus Christi, Texas. The design of the South Campus Phase 1A project was done by Gensler Architects and Turner Ramirez Architects. They're here with us today. Construction management was provided by AGCM. The following three firms submitted statement of qualifications and competitive sealed proposals for consideration. They are Fulton Coastcon Construction, Spoglass Construction, and Sund Construction. The evaluation committee members included the following: Dr. Beth Lewis, Lenora Keys, Dr. Leonard Rivera, Dr. John DeHacombe, Robert Duffy, Susan Hutchinson, Regent Susan Hutchinson, Regent Levy Abbott, and Regent Carl Scott, and yours truly. The evaluation committee reviewed the SOQs and interviewed the respondents on August 1st, 2019 in the ISNC boardroom. The competitive sealed proposals were open at 2 p.m. August 1st, 2019 in the INC boardroom. The process was facilitated by David Davila, the director of the purchasing department. Staff recommendation: the evaluation committee's selection ranking that offers the best value for the college is as follows. The number one vendor, Fulton Coastcon. Second vendor, Spoglass Construction. Third vendor, Sund Construction. The administration is seeking board approval to attempt to negotiate a contract with Fulton Coastcon, and if necessary, to proceed to the next offerer in the order of the selection ranking until a contract is reached or all proposals are rejected. The result of the negotiations will be brought back to the board for your final approval.
Thank you. Before we open discussion, there is specific language related to that motion, so I'm going to ask Mr. Rivas to read that for us.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like to propose a motion on agenda item number 6. Based on the review and ranking of the Evaluation Committee and the administration's recommendation, I make a motion that we accept the selection, ranking, and recommendation as presented and select Fulton Coastcon Construction as the offer with the proposal offering the best value for the college, and further authorize administration and its designated agents to attempt to negotiate a contract with Fulton Coastcon Construction, and if necessary, to proceed to the next offer in the order of the selection ranking until the contract is reached or all proposals are rejected.
I second that.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Dr. Dami and Ms. Estrada both seconded that motion. So is there any discussion or questions from the board? Any comments from, any public comments related to this action item? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion as read, please say aye. 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 Any opposed, please say no. Thank you very much. Staff has some good work ahead of them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our last, we are going to now accept general public comment before we go into closed session. Is there any general public comment? Anyone? We don't have any cards turned in. Is there any general public comment?
Gordy was here.
Is there anyone, whether you filled out a card or not, who would like to make general public comment? Yes. That's all right.
Susie Luna Saldana. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Regents for their work and their diligence in keeping up with everything that's going on in Del Mar. I could not be more appreciative of everything that you all have done to prosper Del Mar, and to thank especially Dr. Escamilla for all the help he has given to the students, and appreciate what is being done by each and every one of you, taking the time to do the great things that you're doing here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Seeing no other public comment, the board will now go into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer with possible discussion and action in open session, and the seeking of legal advice from counsel on pending legal or contemplated matters or claims with possible discussion and action in open session, and Texas Government Code 551.074 A12 regarding the employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including the annual evaluation and contract of the college president, with discussion, possible discussion and action in open session. The time is 11:25 a.m. We will take a brief recess to clear the room. Thank you.
in the contract into the base salary for a total compensation of $321,374.76 for the fiscal year 20. These terms are effective September 1, 2019, and all other terms and conditions in the contract remain unchanged and in full force and effect.
Thank you, Dr. Nami. Is there a second to that motion? Ms. Estrada seconds it. On behalf of the board, wanted you all to know that over the past few months, we conducted Dr. Escamilla's annual performance evaluation. The board is very pleased with the work of Dr. Escamilla and his staff. We continue to be very proud of his representation of the college at the local, state, and federal level, and we look forward to working together with him over the coming years. Are there any members of the board who would like to make any other comment related to the motion?
You said it all.
You said it all. We all pretty much agree with you.
Thank
You said
you.
it earlier.
Thank you, board members. Would we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Dr. Adame.
Yes.
Ms. Favorite.
Yes.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Ms. Estrada.
Yes.
Ms. Hutchinson.
Yes.
Mr. Rivas.
Yes.
Mr. Salinas.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Dr. Sherwood.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That vote is unanimous. We have calendaring. We don't have any current calendaring to consider. Our next regular board meeting will be on Tuesday, September 10th at 1 p.m. There is not at this time planned to be a workshop session in the morning, so the board will convene at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, September 10th. With no other business before the board, we are adjourned at 11:39 a.m.